Hello, Cowichan. It's Alec Wheeler, Events and Membership Manager with the Duncan Cowichan Chamber of Commerce, and we're here with another session of Biz Banter. I have with me today Chris Davis with Mid-Island Ink Depot. Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, Chris, here you are with a fantastic business that is serving the business community as a whole, and then March rolls around, global pandemic, businesses are closing down. What do you do?
Well, it was, when everything shut down, it was, like the world had turned its lights off, certainly for a few days. So it's, very, very quickly, you've got to think, well, what is this? What's happening? And how do we respond? And, how do we protect our business? The initial first 2 weeks were pretty quiet, so it was pretty concerning. However, in week 3 onwards, business started to trickle back. We seemed to pick up a lot of home users, extra home users, people who were schooling their children at home. Our model kind of fits the pandemic. We deliver to the door, be it a business or a home user. So when people didn't want to go out, didn't want to line up or join a lineup for a big store to buy printer supplies, our model fits. We deliver to the door. So yeah, after the initial shock, it was like, oh my God, what do we do? So, first off, we had to come up with some procedures for handling the product. So we came up with some procedures which we attached to every order going out, telling the customer the last time it was touched by human hands, how they should handle it, what they should do with it when they get it. We deliver wearing gloves, fresh pair of gloves for every order. We don't put on a pair of gloves and wear them all day. Every order, back to the car, fresh pair for the next order. Everything is sanitized. So very, very quickly, we had to decide, well, what's going on? How do we respond? What do our customers need to know? We're a non-medical essential service. A lot of our customers are the medical clinics in town.
Okay.
So it was obvious from the beginning that, we have to keep going. Mm-hmm. And then again, right off the bat, we put them at the top of the list. They would take priority over everything and anything. If they needed anything, they were the first stop.
Right.
So after the initial shock, it was like, okay, what do we got to do?
Yeah, a deep breath, reassess, and back at it. Now,
exactly.
You bring up a really good point. A lot of people know you as serving the business community, but what they don't realize is you actually have residential customers as well. So not necessarily businesses, but home printers, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then you also touched on the fact that, businesses shifted a little bit as people are homeschooling. And so they're needing, printers and servicing at their home. And I'm guessing a lot of people move to working from home as well. Do you think that's a trend that's going to continue? And do you think that side of your market's going to pick up a bit as a result of the pandemic?
Yeah, I think it's the pandemic is a terrible thing, let's get that right. But it's very interesting to watch how the world is responding. And I think the home worker situation is going to continue to some sort of degree, because a lot of businesses are going to say, well, you know what, it worked, we managed, maybe it'll cost us less, so let's try it. So I do think, the home working aspect of it will carry on to a degree. We've had a huge shift to digital. We probably jumped 5 years into the future in 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. Some of that will go back, but some of it will stay where it is. That's what I think. Yeah, there's going to be some changes going on.
Absolutely. Now, we were talking off camera a little bit about some of the sectors that have been hit perhaps hardest. And one of those is the hospitality sector. And you were telling me much with a lot of businesses in this situation, necessity being the mother of invention. You've got a new initiative that you're about to launch, or a new business service line that you're about to launch for the hospitality sector. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, we've recently partnered with Epson Canada, and Epson are renowned for very, very high quality color printers. And we're going to be offering a menu printing machine, or a machine for menu printing, along with access to thousands of templates for menus in color. But the great thing about it is the actual cost to print is going to be amazingly low. It's called a super tank system, where they won't have to buy ink cartridges. They just fill big tanks of ink on a small desktop color printer. So instead of getting 600-700 pages out of an ink cartridge, they'll get 10,000 pages out of an ink supply. So yeah, it's, we're very excited about it, and looking forward to launching it sometime this week, hopefully.
And I imagine too that the templates work really similar to any template in, say, a Word document, where they can drop their logo in and their sort of branding, and have a selection of fonts, etc. But that the spacing and the print optimization is already set up for them. And that's going to be fantastic. You talk about the price point and the number of copies they can get, especially for restaurants that are doing daily specials that they want to have printed. I can see that being really, really beneficial.
And, some restaurants are looking at paper disposable menus. So, this is a very low cost option that will give them that opportunity if they wish to take it. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
Now, I've got to commend you too, because you've been really active on social media. You've joined our Business Not As Usual Cowichan Facebook group.
Yeah, which has been great.
And have you found that you've been leaning on social media a little bit more since the pandemic? And what have been your observations on that shift?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, there's been a huge digital shift. There's been several local groups that have popped up on Facebook, Business Not As Usual, and others. So yeah, we jumped straight in because everybody sat at home, and that's how they're communicating. And at a time like this, we need to communicate. We need to tell people we're still here. We can deliver to your door. This is how we do it, and take advantage of it. Got it. Absolutely got to.
Perfect. And so if people want to get in touch with you and find out about your services, and you've got a whole range of products as well, how do they find out that information, and how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can go to our website, which is www.inkdepot.ca, or you can give us a call on 250-732-6955. And we sell everything from large copiers to desktop printers and all the ink and toner for every brand of printer and copier out there at the best prices in the area as well.
Excellent. And supporting local too, which is more important than ever now. Now, and do you offer servicing as well? Because I got to tell you, I don't think I've ever owned a home copier or a printer that hasn't needed some work at some point.
Yeah, we support everything we do. Even if you didn't buy the printer from us, and you got an issue, we'll help you resolve it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So any final thoughts or perspectives? We're in phase 2 right now of BC's startup plan. Presumably, if we keep going with the positive trend that we've established in terms of really flattening that curve, we'll be moving into phase 3 at some point. So any thoughts, perspectives, or words of encouragement?
Yeah, I think BC has handled the epidemic very, very well. I think we've been so lucky on the island, unbelievably lucky. And we've been lucky to be able to keep going. So, and I hope that when the reopen starts to happen, that people do support local. And I think it's the pandemic has highlighted the fact that, actually it is local that keep the lights on. These small businesses all over town, all over the area, these are the guys that keep the lights on. And if they're not there, then there's going to be nothing. So we really need to make that extra effort to, support our local businesses. They're going to need a lot of help when they reopen. So let's give it to them. You know, we can do it.
Absolutely. And I mean, again, that's another thing that Mid-Island Ink Depot has done really well. You've got on board with Buy Local Cowichan, I believe. You've got on board with the Get in the Loop app.
Yes.
And again, on social media. So you're really taking advantage of all those platforms. And I think it's being well received. I mean, the support is out there. And the one amazing thing, I think particularly about our island communities, is when we're in a time of crisis, that's really when you see, you know, the true colors of our community. We kind of all gather around and we support each other, and there's a real groundswell happening. So as you say, hopefully that continues.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of, you know, I think a lot of good could come out of this, you know, and I'm seeing a lot of good, you know, out there. You know, we've been involved with Project Draw Breath. We've been collecting respirators all over the valley, and medical caps for sanitization. You know, so people are pulling together, helping each other, and you know, let's continue that way. Life's a lot nicer like that, you know, and we can do it.
Absolutely. And hey, on that note, I think that's a great place to leave it. I'm sure you're busy with orders and service calls to get to, Chris. So thank you so much for joining me again today, and looking forward to continuing to support you from the Chamber perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Cowichan, thanks for having us. That's been another session of Biz Banter with the Duncan Cowichan Chamber of Commerce and Mid-Island Ink Depot.